Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I'm the Resolves, and this is Almost There. So this isn't actually a good deck, but it's definitely a little bit of fun to play with. What we've got going on here is we've got Nostrix, Lord of Visions, and Cliffside Porter. And together what they do is this is going to give you a 5/6 or better for one, and every time you draw one, you draw two copies instead. To complement this sort of combo we've got going on, we've got Second Sights, so we can draw more Porters, Strategizes, so we can try and find the Nostrixes, and we've got Crownwatch Press Gangs, so we can do some sort of spicy technology here, because we can Second Sight or Strategize a Cliffside Porter to the bottom of the deck, and then the Crownwatch Press Gang will draw us another copy, but it will draw two of them. This is just a different take on a Hooru control deck, and that's just the finisher that we've chosen to go with, rather than just Sword of the Sky King or Eilyn or anything like that. We're just going to go deep and try and twin people out with the Nostrix. We do of course still have the Channel the Tempest, because when you do have Echo cards in your deck, I think this just goes up in stock, and this is just another way that we can win the game if we're not able to get going there with the Nostrixes. Now this isn't actually my idea for a deck, I saw it on stream like a month or two ago where someone was messing about with Nostrix and Cliffside. And I just tried to sort of reverse engineer it from there because I couldn't find a list or anyone who even knew anything about it. And I'm pretty sure that you should probably be playing the Thunderstrike Dragons in this deck. But I've chosen instead just to be really linear combo. And see how that works out for us on the ladder. Okay, so onto the games. Okay, well, we're on the draw for a pretty powerful hand, and we do have a lot of card selection with the Second Sights and the Wisdom of the Elders, but we're on the draw. So I think we're actually just going to redraw this. I think we really want to have like at least one combo piece in hand. And here we go. We've already got the Porter and the Nostrix going on. So hopefully we're not against like a fire-based beatdown deck, but the Crest of Wisdom here should be able to help us find it. And against a Combre start, the Hailstorm's probably not going to be great. Although this could be like an Awakened Student deck. I think we'll just bottom it. If there is Awakened Students, then we can just sort of chuck a Cliffside Porter out to chump for a couple of turns. And of course, if it's like a Temporal Control or Chalice, then okay, so perhaps this is like Rod. I think we do want the Strategize here. But fortunately here, yeah, I don't need additional Islands Choice. I think just the first one's probably going to be fine. But fortunately here, we can probably just play Cliffside Porter on 5 and then play a Nostrix on 6. We don't currently have the Justice sources required, but we are slowly getting there. And I think now we're just going to try and set up for the Harsh Rule on 5. And then we'll get around to this whenever. I'm sort of considering here whether we try and sort of prevent forward damage with the Island's Choice, as we are going to be Harsh Ruling it anyway. But I think a 2-for-1 with Harsh Rule is fine. I think we're just going to try and protect our life total.
You don't want to make my allies your enemies.
This also might prompt him to play a little something as well, but we're not so lucky. Just shut down the Harsh Rule. I we're under a lot less pressure now. And this looks like this is perhaps like the Icaria Gold deck. And as we already need a Justice Source to make these Copper Hall Porters really pop, we can just wait until next turn. If we draw a Justice Source, we will be able to just play down the Nostrix and go ham from there. But other than that, we are getting pretty close with the Channel Tempest. Though we will probably just be using it as a removal spell here. There we go, let's get a Wisdom out. And we can just Hailstorm here, and I think that's what we're going to do. And then next turn we can probably just strategize and try and find the justice source there. Well, as much as I'd love to Celestial Hunger for a justice source, we already found one, so we're doing okay here. So I'm not sure we actually need 3 Cliffside Porters, but I'm pretty sure we can probably get by without a Vanquish here. So give our opponent a turn. Okay, well, we'll chuck down a Porter. And I'm pretty certain that our opponent's not going to have Harsh Will on the deck because they do seem to be very beatdown focused. And right now, I don't really want to channel this and then just get blown up by Protect. I'd much rather just chuck down a Hailstorm. Got just second sight here, so we're able to. Okay, so we're going off here. So we're able to draw some more Cliffside Porters. I'll just stick 2 of them down because we're going to be second sight and another one here just to keep the train rolling. And we should be able to finish off with a Channel of Tempest here. I probably should have just played out the next one, but I'm not sure if our opponent might actually just have Harsh Rule. This could be a nice catch-up mechanic in this sort of deck. We can see how absurd these Cliffside Porters can really get, and you are able to just really turn the game around here. Opponents are perhaps roping here. I can imagine how frustrating this deck must be to play against. But fortunately it's not actually very good, and this is just one of the good showings where we played against the Justice deck and we're just able to sort of get there. So you can really you can have a little bit of fun with this deck. I've made some 10-11s and 15-16s of the Cliffside Porters before. Often in lieu of just actually winning that turn with a channel. So we've got the rope, which looks like it's probably going to be a quick concession. Yep, so we're a Hooru control deck that gets to ace base. And I suppose we'll just challenge. We spike any echo units where you get to win on the spot. A cheeky scout and another channel will do the job pretty much no matter what. And unfortunately our opponent is roping. Maybe this is actually just a connection issue, but it didn't seem like there was much they were going to be able to do anyway when our hand is absolutely stacked. So we'll just give them the easy way out. And that's a wrap. Okay, and we're in the draw here, and we do have 2 of our combo pieces here, as the Crownwatch Press Gang is able to fetch us up those Porters. So I think we will keep this, although we're a little bit power light. Hopefully the Strategize will be able to help get us there. And we are against Praxis here, and they are probably aggressive enough to be able to punish us for trying to just get there with nonsense. Okay, so maybe this is the actual moment deck that we're looking at here. I think it'll just be a nice early Strategize. I don't think we actually need the second channel, and we can always just tutor up later if we need to. But now the influence is perfect, we've got 3 of each. And hopefully we should be able to start getting off there with the second side. Though I'm perhaps going to hang on to see if we can play the Crownwatch Press Gang first. And of course, because the Crownwatch Press Gang has got revenge, he gets off 2 shots at it. Now, with so much card draw, we can actually really get the second going pretty easily here. Okay, well, we're doing good for power. We've got the 5 in hand. So I'm not going to fire for second sight yet. I'm going to wait until we've already done the Crownwatch, just make sure we've got some portals in hand. Then we'll get 3 5/6s out of the deal. So we'll be waiting until turn 7 for our sort of combo turn here. We could get Rain of Frogs did here, which would be pretty gross. I'd assume I'll probably be trying to tuck away the Nostrix. But fortunately here, it's just a sandstorm time. And I'm more than happy just to play the Crownwatch here as a chumper. And then if our opponent applies anything else to the board, then we'll just tidy it with a harsh rule. It's also pretty nice because this has got us on curve to be just trying to go off on turn 7. Obviously, like, this isn't a true combo deck because the going off doesn't actually win you the game on the spot. And another Crownwatch press gang. I think we will keep that just because it gives us more like raw copies. I think we're just going to Vanquish it. There we go. So we'll Vanquish, and I don't want to expose one of these, so I'll just leave the second sight. Then next turn we'll be able to copper hold the first copy. And our opponent doesn't have any board wipes or anything like that, so we should be able to go hand from there. But unfortunately, it does look like our moment opponent here is struggling a little bit on power. Also, as we've got the Crownwatch in play, the harsh rule might be fine. Maybe there's reasons to actually just snap off the harsh rule on the last turn rather than go for the Vanquish. Because the harsh rule will become a lot less enticing the more impressive our board becomes. Let's get to do a little bit of tasting magic with this Crownwatch press gang next turn. Because we can second sight one of these back. Perfect, so we can be able to play it. So, get to second sight back one of the Cliffside portals. Play our banner. We get to draw it again. And we do a 4 in deck. But we just get to really go ham here. That was a reasonable tempo play, and it popped our Aegis, so. But I don't think, if our opponent spends the next turn like doing a Rain of Frogs or something, then we're sort of in okay shape here. Because we do have like lethal in play here, because we've got 13 on the board, and then basically a million with the Channel Tempest. Okay, we've got one piece of the combo, but unfortunately our influence is pretty terrible, so we'll just call this a redraw, even though it did have 2 cantrips that are pretty good at digging you in. And right here we've got one piece with the Crownwatch. And we're against a Stone Scar deck, but with Crest of Chaos this could be removal pile. Pretty sure that's probably just a terrible matchup. And extra Cobalt Waystone is probably fine here. Okay, so it's some sort of Callous deck, so we could be okay here because we do get to play around with the harsh roll just to sort of keep things tidied up and just hopefully are able to just dodge the actual Callous. And the Vanquish is probably not doing anything, but now is like the 5th power. I suppose we'll keep this just in case there was any sort of scrap tank nonsense going on. Okay, so this is the free faction version. I think what we're going to do here is just Wisdom of the Elders. We're just going to try and find our justice requirements. And perhaps that's one of the more shaky elements of the deck, is that not only do you need to sort of get this combo together, but you do need to get the triple influence for either side as well. Okay, well, we've actually got the combo then, I guess. Not too concerned about any sort of discard spells, so we'll just chuck the banner down with the intention of just getting the Wisdom of the Elders. I'm just under no pressure here. I'm going to guess that our opponent's playing like, perhaps this is actually just the free call moment deck. And they're just not been able to pressure us because they've just got like a reactive hand. There we go. So unfortunately I believe we have to go to discard now, because we're one too many here. But I think we'll just get rid of the Vanquish. Our opponent's not showing us any threats, we actually need one, and we'll just be able to go sort of over the top here as well. Okay, so there's some sort of Madness Devour deck. There we go. So this all makes sense now. They've just sort of been sat there for a bunch of reactive spells. I'm sort of happy just to take my extra free damage there. Okay, so our opponent's got the Crownwatch Crest gang from us, which is pretty gross, as they've probably got something to hit in there. Well, I think what our plan to do next is, as our power's pretty good here, I'm just going to set up for the turn 7 combo here. Just going to Hailstorm all this away. Opponent gets to draw a card, but that's fine. We'll just set up drawing an additional Cliffside portal here with the second sight. And we should just be able to really overwhelm any sort of madness, sort of devour nonsense by just having too many things going on. I think we've got a second Nostrix. Could be a little bit risky to play it out, just because we do risk making our units a little bit too big, and then madness can become very scary when we're being quite aggressive backwards. But we do get to actually really pressure our opponent here. Okay, well, that was reasonably bad for us. But with the second copy in hand, we still do have a flyer, so we're able to get over there. And I think actually this turn we're just going to play the scout land here. Just scout out, see what we get, and we don't want any more power. But we do have 15 power on board here, and if we do find a Hailstorm, that's very likely just going to be a... So, what I was going to say with them is, if we find a Hailstorm, then Hailstorm is very likely to be able to act as like a one-sided harsh rule against our opponent's small unit. So we will be able to eventually just get in there with our huge units. Okay, well, we've got a bunch of card draw here, and we've got pretty good power here, because we do have the Island's Favour to get us the third power to be able to get us in there with those Wisdom of the Elders. We've got one combo piece and a little bit of interaction with the Vanquish. So I think this is a keep, although I can see a 5-based aggro deck just being able to just push past our defences here. No Hoonys, please. Uh-oh. Well, we could very well be in trouble here. I think we're going to use the scout first. And Hash will probably be able to help us catch up. So I'm hoping that this isn't Skycrag and they're just able to kill us on like turn 4. Although if it was Skycrag, then we'd have an actual use for this Vanquish, as it does kill champions of Fury. And Volcano's fine. We're not taking infinite here. Okay, maybe we are now. And sadly we know that we are not quite yet during a Hailstorm. Though, as you can see, Hailstorm would be pretty excellent here, as it is able to tidy up this entire board. So next turn is pretty much just going to be in Eilyn's favour. Play our power and then pass the turn. There's not much we can do, just sort of hope to not have taken too much damage. And opponent does generally have a shaky power base and their actual Ricano beatdown deck. Okay, well we can just actually just Wisdom the Elders, even better. And just hopefully set up a turn 5 harsh roll, hoping that our opponent's not done too much damage here. And of course, if we just find a Hailstorm, that'd be great too, because we're able to snap it off next turn. That's when we're playing the additional Crest as well. Aside from the Scout, you do get to get a little bit of value of obfuscating what actually deck you're playing here. Very well might not even matter, because our opponent is very capable of just killing us nice and quickly here. But we do the Hailstorm and a Cliffside Porter, so we're in great shape here. Our opponent's got some fast interaction here. I'm not sure if it's some Finest Hours or maybe it's just Torches. But we'll just be chucking down this Hailstorm. A Finest Hour or a Protect does save one of the units. But I'm also willing that, if that was the case, I'd be willing just to chuck down a Cliffside Porter as well. Then next turn we get to protect ourselves many burn spells with the Eilyn's favour, as well as being able to hold up the Wismel's. And our opponent's got a 4/4 Champion of Glory, so that is going to get vanquished. I'm not going to sit here and just deal with that forever. And now the Torch that I'm pretty sure our opponent's got is not going to be able to go to our face for any actual value. And as such, I'm not willing to be chucking down one of the Cliffside Porters, although it would also protect us from... Okay, so what's our opponent up to here? I'm going to Wisdom the Elders. Happy just to sort of take free here. If there is a... Okay, so we found a power as well, so that's great, because this means we get to protect ourselves. But I'd really like to just get a 2-for-1 from this Hailstorm, just so that we're able to use our cards and just leverage them the most rather than just virtually getting ground out here. And if we're just taking free here, that's fine. My main concern really was like a Whirling Joe, and I suppose we will actually just Hailstorm here. I'm curious where all our opponent's war cries have gone, because they should have had like 3 maybe 4, and we've only seen one of them so far. Okay, so got a Scout power here, and we'll get Strategize. That's excellent. That's what we're looking for. Not quite yet willing to be committing these Cliffside Porters, because we do know our opponent's got a Torch, and as much as I'd like them to use it on like half a card, I'd really just try and dig for the Nostrix. I don't think we really need another Hailstorm, but I think I'm gonna tuck a Porter because we are able to tutor them back up, and I'm just gonna play the Wisdom here. And we're going to be discarding the end of turn here as well. But I'm just going to strategize, just keep trying to go really deep there. I think I might just put this one in play. We have to discard anyway. And we've got 4 more copies of this card in our hand because we do have the Crownwatch Press Gang. now I think we're just in the challenge our opponent in the face portion of the game. They could obviously just have like a protect or something here, but we are just going to million them. And then Celestial Omen's great because that will find us the Nostrix, and then when we go to discard here, we'll just get rid of these Seek powers. And now I think we're perhaps going to be changing tact a little bit. So I'm going to put our 10th power. And I think we're actually going to be... Yeah, so I've missed a damage there from the channel because I wasn't actually going to channel. But I think when we get to the point where we might actually just Celestial... Yeah, we're just going to kill our opponent this way. If we have to take a turn off to be able to Celestial for like the other channel, then that's sort of fine as well. We do want to keep the 11th power. But I think we're pretty much fine other than that. So we could actually be dead to our opponent here, and we could have actually just got a clean sweep here, which is unfortunate. So we're going to keep the lightning strike just to keep ourselves safe from any sort of haste units, and we'll get rid of the Eilyn's Choice because we can't play it right now. But we did want the actual 11th power here because we do want to be able to Crownwatch Press Gang, just have like a blocker here and be able to Celestial Omen here. Okay, so the 7-4 here is going to be pretty gross. I suppose we'll just do this, let our opponent know that they've got the torch in hand, they're able to win the game. There's no point dispensing with formalities here. Though if they don't win, we're able to play the Cobalt Waystone. And they do have the torch, which is unfortunate. I'm pretty sure we could have actually just killed this, just to be safe. And I guess that's where all the war cries went. Okay, and here we are for the last game. And this hand's full of nice things I'd like to keep, but unfortunately it's just the 1 power. This isn't exactly more like it, but I suppose these are the sort of hands that you should be expected to get. I think we'll keep the second sight, but we'll probably be using it just as like a cantrip here, just to get us a little bit deeper. I would play just a Sigil out, just in case we do need to second sight to like tuck the harsh rule or something. Okay, well this could be a gross matchup here. We could potentially not do anything if this is like the JPS removal pile deck. I think we will be using second sight for not much in the way of value on this turn, just to be able to keep hitting our power. So perhaps the Eilyn's Choice is going to be good here, just protecting us from some big spells perhaps. Okay, so even better, we'd actually get the Cliffside Potter here. We'll pull it back just so we get another copy. I'm just going to strategize, try and find some more power. And we can probably pretty safely bottom this harsh roll, but the Hailstorm is probably situationally worse as well. So Rain of Frogs here would pretty much end the game for us. I think we'll chuck one out, let our opponent see what's up, and then we'll just go for it next time with the Nostrix. Otherwise, we'll just try and hit the 7th power before we do it again. We haven't actually lost any cards here if our opponent spends a card answering this, although if there was a Varus, that'd be pretty rough for us. Our opponent knows what's up here. So we could have had another 5-6, but we didn't know we were drawing the extra power, and I just really want to get this online as soon as possible. Our opponent is struggling on power here, unfortunately. So they won't be able to harsh roll us here. And on the next turn we should be able to protect ourselves. In Cold Blood would be reasonably gross here, but not the end of the world. And now we get to hold up Eilyn's Choice whilst having Cliffside Porters in play. And it's Eilyn's Choice here, which is fine. But now we get to flood the board with 20 points of damage. We get to protect our team from a harsh rule with this Eilyn's Choice. And unfortunately, our opponent doesn't have enough power here to be able to punish us with like a double Hailstorm or anything like that. As Hailstorm would be able to get underneath the Eilyn's Choice, but everything's just too big and too quick to be happening here. As unfortunately our opponent has struggled on power here. That's your turn, and you're on 23, but we'll just do this. Now we get to hold up Eilyn's Choice for the next 2 turns. And here we go. The old A-Space Hooru control deck. He's playing a lot more like Sandstorm Titans than Cliffside Porters here. I think our opponent is just doing the old Wisdom Elders just to see what they could have got. Doing the old effects for the game. There we go. Nice touch. If you're dead, just concede. Don't rope. Okay, so we went 4 out of 5, so not too bad. Okay, so that was almost there. And I think the deck is almost there as well. There are a couple more pieces, like just some more card selection is what we really require. Or perhaps something like a Brainstorm from Magic where we just get more options to be able to put cards from our hand onto the top of our deck. So we get to really go ham with these Cliffside Porters. We went 4-5 with what is generally not going to be a good deck. So if you don't care about your ladder ranking, play this, but I had a blast. It's just my kind of, it's my cup of tea, this. Just absolutely messing around with just absurd nonsense. Okay, so I've been that resolves, and this was almost there.